every child that enters this building, before he or she leaves this building, should be smothered with old people who, if they say nothing else, should walk up to them and say, "Hello, my name is Mr. Brown. I just want you to know how glad we are to see you in church today." Now, you'll do it to my kids because I'm the pastor, and I'll do it to his kids because he's the deacon. But every child, every young person, every young singer, every young usher, every young person today that finds him or herself in the house of God ought to be tired from having people grab their hands and hug their necks and say, "I'm so glad to see you this morning." Now, you know why we don't do it? Two reasons we don't do it. First reason is it's hard for us to really get into, I'm talking about people over 40, it's hard for us to get into the idea that young people should be welcome to church because we were forced to go to church. See? So psychologically, it's hard for us to really engage with the idea that we should be friendly to young people and we should greet young people and we should make them feel welcome because you either went to church or you died. You didn't have a choice at all. In fact, you didn't have a choice at anything. You didn't choose what you wore. You didn't choose what you ate. You didn't choose what time you went to bed. You didn't choose who whipped you. Yeah, life was full of non-choices. And that's the first reason we kind of take young people for granted. These guys should have been human enough, forget being spiritual, just human enough, to realize these young men were rebuilding the temple, which meant they didn't have to do it. Instead of being mean and ugly about it and crying, they should have taken them lunch, offered them food, given them water. We have a hard time with that because in our minds, not only should the young people be here anyhow, we spend most of our time wondering where the ones who are not here, where they are. The other problem we have, those of us who call ourselves grown, is that we have not calculated properly our own theology. Here's what I mean by that. You got to update and upgrade your understanding of God to remain relevant with your own children. See, when we were kids, the things we prayed to God for, we no longer need God for. We don't need God to protect us and get us where we're going because of potential traffic. We got GPS. You push the button. If the traffic slowed down, you push a button and it says detour. Yes, take me another way. You don't need God for that. You don't need God to hope your family gets home in time to eat the food you cook. You got microwave. Here, warm it up yourself. When I was having stomach trouble, my stomach was in such bad shape I couldn't drink water. Had that happened to my grandmother, she'd have had to lay on the floor in church and have folk pour oil on her and tarry for the Holy Ghost. I just went to the doctor, got me a tube, he put it down my nose, it went in my stomach. He looked on the camera, showed me on the computer, "Boy, you need some medicine." Point is, if all we need God for are the things that we want, the places that we've never been, then our theology is stuck in a time and place where our children say, well, I don't need God. If all you need God for is for hoping somebody will come by the house and drop off $10 so you can buy a hamburger, I'll go to the ATM machine. But our theology has to be broad enough and big enough and deep enough to explain to our children that there's a God who beyond the physical things that God does and the physical blessings God gives, there's a God that makes crooked ways straight. There's a God that gives us peace of mind. There's a God that strengthens us when we're weak. There's a God that protects us from our enemies. God's got to be bigger than our stuff. Because if God is not bigger than our stuff, then the more stuff this next generation gets, the less they will feel they need God.